This video, we got great albums that were supposed to flop. Oh, I don't know any great albums that were supposed to flop. Not off the top of my head, but let's get into the video.
Pop music is filled with albums that were written off before they even had a chance, but some projects were able to defy expectations. In this video, we'll look at 8 great albums that were supposed to flop. Brat by Charli XCX. When Charli XCX announced Brat, many didn't expect it to do much. Despite being the critics' darling, Charli had never truly cracked the mainstream in a way that reflected her influence. Her previous album, Crash, was her first real commercial success, debuting on number 7 on the Billboard 200, selling more than 30,000 copies in the US. So when she pivoted back to a more club-inspired sound with Brat, there were doubts that she could maintain her momentum. But instead, it was clear that it was Charli back in her element. But commercial success was not guaranteed. Early singles like Von Dutch and Club Classics were hard-hitting, club-ready tracks that felt tailor-made for a niche audience rather than the mainstream. But when the album dropped, songs like 360 and Guess became huge streaming hits. The album's aesthetic, with the neon green branding, became iconic, and the creative marketing strategy made it a commercial success. The album only debuted on number 3 on the Billboard 200, selling 77,000 copies in its first week. But Charli managed to extend the life of the project with numerous new versions, and Brat ended the year as one of the best-selling albums of 2024. It was also one of the most critically acclaimed albums of the year. So this is a pop album, resonating way beyond Charli's core fan base. It defied expectations and became an iconic album, and Charli is now at the peak of her career. Blackout by Britney Spears.
I think I heard about this one.
In 2007, Britney Spears'
I heard about this.
Her personal life was dominating the tabloids because of her highly publicized breakdowns and erratic behavior that made people believe her career was finished. She even shaved her head and went to rehab a couple times. Her previous album, In the Zone, had been a success, but her 2005...
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Britney Spears, was she the one of those that overdosed? Did Britney Spears overdose, or was that someone else?
Greatest Hits remix album and the poorly received Chaotic EP did little to maintain her pop dominance. On top of that, she wasn't really promoting Blackout because of her personal struggles, and her infamous 2007 VMAs performance of Give Me More was widely criticized for her looking uninterested. Many assumed that the album would crash and burn. Instead, Blackout became a groundbreaking moment in pop music. While it did decent initially, debuting on number 2 on the Billboard 200, selling 124,000 copies in its first week, it became an album that shifted the entire landscape of pop. The album's dark, electro-infused production was ahead of its time. Songs like Piece of Me took direct aim at the media that had been ruining her life, while Break the Ice and Radar showcased a more futuristic sound. Over time, Blackout grew in influence, with many artists calling it a major inspiration. It is now considered one of the best pop albums of that time, and it has now reached legendary status. While Britney herself was in chaos, the album was amazing. What was supposed to be her downfall ended up solidifying her legacy and continued her domination.
Why was it?
Emotion by Carly Rae Jepsen. After the worldwide smash success of Call Me Maybe in 2012, Carly Rae Jepsen was written off as a one-hit wonder. Her debut album, Kiss, was seen as too bubblegum pop to sustain long-term success, and by the time she was ready to release Emotion, the industry seemed to have moved on. Many believed she would disappear, especially after the lead single I Really Love You failed to make a significant impact on the charts. The album was expected to be dead on arrival. However, what happened next was unexpected. While Emotion didn't perform spectacularly on the charts, peaking at number 16 on the Billboard 200, it became one of the most beloved pop records of the decade. Rather than chasing trends, Carly crafted an album that leaned heavily into 80s synth pop, drawing influence from acts like Prince and Madonna. The album found an audience, not in the mainstream but in pop music lovers who appreciated its artistry. Over time, Emotion grew to be a cult classic. While the music industry may have ignored it at first, fans kept the album alive, turning it into a defining moment.
Why was it expected to flop though?
Carly may not have had another Call Me Maybe size hit, but Emotion proved that she could make a great album that stands the test of time. Plastic Hearts by Miley Cyrus.
I'd never heard this album.
Miley Cyrus has always been unpredictable, but by 2020, her career was in a strange place. Following the commercial disappointment of Younger Now in 2017, which abandoned her pop sound for country influences, many people doubted she could reclaim her former chart-topping status. It had been 7 years since her defining bangers era, and she was looking to get her career back on track. The shift towards rock-inspired music on her next album, Plastic Hearts, was seen as a risky move, especially since mainstream pop was going in a different direction at the time. People weren't sure that would work for her. Despite the doubts, Plastic Hearts turned out to be one of Miley's most critically acclaimed albums. Tracks like Midnight Sky and Prisoner.
Let me cut to the chase. So basically, this album, Plastic Hearts, they were expecting this album to flop because they thought Miley Cyrus was washed. That's basically what they thought. That's what they thought. I want to see how great this album did.
Featuring Dua Lipa are all-time bops, showing off
how good did this album do?
While deep cuts like Angels Like You are some of the
I ain't gonna lie, I haven't heard Miley Cyrus in years.
The album debuted on number 2 on the Billboard.
Number 2 on the Billboard.
Performed better than expected, especially considering its limited promotion. However, its real success came in the way it redefined Miley as an artist. After years of genre hopping, Plastic Hearts gave her a musical identity that really suited her, until she changed it up again on her next album. Believe by Cher. By the late 90s, Cher was seen more as a legend from the past than a current hitmaker. She had been in the industry for decades, but she had struggled to make an impact since the 80s. Her previous album,
80s? Oh my god.
1995 was a critical success, but a commercial disappointment, leading many to believe that her days scoring big hits was over. Then, at 52 years old, Cher released Believe, a dance pop album that seemed risky for someone who had never been a club queen before, and people didn't expect much from the project, assuming it would get lost in the way. The title track, with its now iconic auto-tune effect, became an unstoppable force. The song topped the charts in over 20 countries, including the US, where it made Cher the oldest female artist to have a #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. The album itself became a multi-platinum success, selling over 10 million copies worldwide. Beyond its commercial impact, it completely reinvented Cher for a new generation, proving that pop music has no age limit. The use of auto-tune in Believe also changed music forever, paving the way for the vocal processing software to take over the music industry. The rest of the album also held up, with dance-heavy tracks like Strong Enough and All or Nothing becoming club anthems. The album's influence on electro-pop music was undeniable. Before Believe, Cher was seen as a legacy act. After Believe, she was a legend who had just delivered one of the biggest reinventions in pop history. Confessions on a Dance Floor by Madonna. By the mid-2000s, Madonna's reign as the queen of pop was facing serious doubts. Her previous album, American Life in 2003, had been her most poorly received project to date. Many felt like she had passed her prime, unable to compete with a younger generation of pop stars dominating the charts. When she was gearing up to release a full-fledged dance album, some saw it as career suicide, especially from a then 47-year-old artist. Expectations weren't high for Confessions on a Dance Floor. But then, the lead single Hung Up dropped, and everything changed.
This looked like some album in the 70s.
Gimme Gimme Gimme, the song was an instant smash. The album itself was a mix of disco-infused electro-pop and felt like a return to the Madonna, who had ruled the clubs in the 80s and 90s. Instead of looking outdated, she set the trend.
This looked more like 70s, 60s.
Years before the genre's revival in the late 2010s. Commercially, Confessions on a Dance Floor was a massive success. It debuted on #1 in over 40 countries.
Debuted at #1?
The album's impact was long-lasting, influencing the sound of pop music for years to come. What was supposed to be a desperate attempt to stay relevant turned into one of Madonna's most beloved albums.
Cardi B, Invasion of Privacy.
Cardi B. Before Invasion of Privacy,
I never
Cardi
listened
B
to it.
was
Oh, this is that album.
2017 breakout single Bodak.
Bodak Yellow. This one of her first albums, ain't it? This album had Bodak Yellow, so they were. Yeah, I do remember. This album was not expected to go as good as it went, bro. This is a fact. This album was not expected to go as good as it did, bro.
Black Yellow was an undeniable smash, but many critics doubted that she could deliver a full-length project with substance, cohesion, and replay value. She was a reality TV star turned rapper, an easy target for skeptics who believed her career would fizzle out as quickly as it started. On top of that, there wasn't really a defined lane for female rap at the time. It was Nicki or nothing else. The odds were stacked against her, but when Invasion of Privacy dropped, it completely silenced the doubters. From the very first track,
it didn't silence them all,
made it clear
but
that she wasn't just here for a quick moment. She was here to dominate.
It's like this album dropped, and I wouldn't say it silenced the doubters, but it definitely opened people's eyes. Like, okay, Cardi B is actually talented. Like, she can really do this as a full-time job. Like, she's actually talented. It definitely didn't silence the haters. She still has hella haters to this day, and I feel like she should be more respected than what she is now. But
the album blended hard-hitting rap bangers with melodic crossover friendly tracks.
Even though I don't listen to Cardi B at all,
but careful. It debuted on #1.
Bro, this #1
selling 255,000 copies in its first week.
Her first album debuted at #1.
It wasn't just commercially successful, it was critically acclaimed too, winning the best rap album at the Grammys and making history as the first solo female rap album to win in that category. It went on to break streaming records, with every song becoming certified platinum or higher, a first in RIAA history. Cardi not only proved that she could make a great album, she made a game changer. Its impact has lasted so long that she didn't have to make another album to stay relevant. Purpose by Justin Bieber. By the time Purpose rolled around in 2015, Justin's career was in a downward spiral.
I don't even think she still make music, but Justin Bieber, he definitely don't make music no more, I don't think.
He hit a rough patch, filled with legal troubles, scandals, and public backlash. His previous album, Journals, was well received by fans, but failed to produce any major hits, making it seem like his mainstream career was fading. His public perception was at an all-time low, and people predicted that his next album would flop. Then came Purpose, and everything changed. The album was a complete reinvention, blending electronic dance music influences and R&B to craft a legendary album. The lead single, What Do You Mean, debuted on #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, immediately shifting the narrative. Purpose didn't just exceed expectations, it shattered them. Every single from the album became a massive hit. Sorry became one of the biggest songs of the decade, and Love Yourself ended the year as the top song of 2016.
These are classics too. I don't know if y'all recognize these by the title, but I definitely recognize both of these songs. Sorry, if I'm not mistaken, that's that Too Late to Say Sorry. Like, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Justin Bieber, he really one of them ones, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Justin Bieber, one of them ones, man, since he was a kid. But he's fucked up now. I don't know what's wrong with Justin Bieber now. Pray for Justin Bieber. I don't know what's going on with him now, though.
Even deeper cuts like Company and No Sense showcase his new artistic direction. He has successfully shed his theme pop image and emerged as a pop powerhouse. Purpose wasn't just a commercial success, it was a redemption arc,
Bieber was
becoming one
of
the best-selling albums of the decade and restoring Bieber's reputation and helping define the sound of the mid-2010s pop. Which great albums that were
he had all, bro, Justin Bieber, bro, in the late 2000s, early 2010s, he had all the girls in the headlock, bro. This man, Justin Bieber, had every girl in the headlock, bro. That man was really a demon. But nah, though, I'm gonna catch y'all next video, and I'm out, man. Peace.